So, welcome to session 24 of Ghost of Saltmarsh, where we are on the Prime Water Pleasure. I will spare you some of the details of your embarking. However, you are currently on a pleasure cruise to celebrate the marriage of Anders and Carmilla, to be wed soon. Now she has moved to Saltmarsh. Carmilla is the daughter of Eleander's brother, so Eleander's niece, who is the guard, captain of the guard in Saltmarsh. And Anders is obviously the young, wealthy chap who you have helped in the past. Some of the other guests who are on are Commodore Warrington, the pirate-looking fellow. There was Father Wyndham, who is now no longer with us. There is Skerin, Anders and Carmilla's butler. There is Gellin, obviously, the host with the mostest. There is Mormac, who is Gellin's friend, another rich trading fellow. There's Captain Misty, who uses magic to sail the ships. Wexley, who is the first mate who you met in the engine room. And Ugab, the half-orc cook who serves you your meal. So, you started the cruise with delicious food, drinks, getting to talk to people, getting to know the people on there. Some people had heard of your exploits as the Mr. Men. Others were just intrigued to hear your story. You played some games. You threw daggers with Captain Misty, and you guys, although she was quite skilled with a dagger, you guys did beat her on that. And then, as the day drew on and the ship sailed out into the blue azure sea, you came for some light gambling after a rest in your rooms. The rest, for some of you, was peaceful. For others, was a bit more entertaining, with some of the beautiful maids assisting you in your rest. And after a small bit of roulette and gambling, where this time you won, you settled down for dinner. One of you did, yeah. The rest went straight to the house. So, you settle down for dinner. And this is where things took a slightly sinister turn. You were eating your starter, a delicious lobster. There was a deer on the table in antler sauce, rich food. And the room was plunged into darkness. In the darkness, commotion erupted around you. You heard tables, chairs being pushed back, the table being broken, glasses being destroyed, and then as the lights came back up...
Hang on, you missed a really important point there.
Go on.
Ozzy and Scarrig were stealing lobster.
Both stole lobster, the appropriate thing to do when the lights go on. With lobster dribbling down your chins, when the lights came back on, you found Skerin had his throat slit and was laid out across the table, the last air of life leaving his body. The room was instantly thrown into shock. Again, more chaos. You shouted to each other to assist him. Scarrick, you jumped onto a table to try and help, but to no avail. However, quickly the priest sprang into action, jumped across the table and stole Camilla's diamond necklace and used it to revive Skerin, which seemed to take all the energy out of the priest. Skerin came back to life, still coughing up the bile and blood and half-eaten food from where he is inhaling all of his blood. The priest, who had fallen backwards, went back to his chair, and the room was sort of cast in this era of who's done it. You were tasked by Gellin to investigate the situation. A few people around the room were not quite happy with this. Commodore seemed to resent that you were chosen. And as you began to sort of try and piece together what had happened, the priest began to sweat and just struggle for breath. Shortly after you'd questioned some of the people in the room, the priest collapsed and died.
Didn't the priest die first? No.
Yeah,
then
so
we
you
investigate
hadn't
it.
taken anyone out yet. You just sort of asked
Yeah.
what was happening, who was doing what, and assessed your situation. And then the priest died. As you tried to revive him, thinking he was Gellin, and then realizing he wasn't,
Fuck this guy.
yeah, you were like, shits and gigs. You found that a vial of poison had been stuck underneath the table, slightly to the south. And two things the priest said in his dying breath was he was pushed from the right-hand side back from his chair when the lights went out, and also that his diamond was missing. Scarrick, you picked up the vial, later finding out the poison was renowned by assassins. That was like your historical knowledge of it, and it was one that could work in 20 to 30 minutes quite quickly. You also found that the poison was in the priest's food when you assessed the room, and it didn't seem to be in any other dishes. You inspected the dagger that was used to kill Scarrin, and you found that it was a dagger made from a dragon's tooth, but also seemed to be a dagger of venom. There were channels where venom could roll through it. There was also a name carved onto the dagger, Old Ricky One Eye. And I think you've kept that dagger for now, haven't you? I believe.
One of us has got it, yeah.
You decided the best proceeds was to lock the room down. A few people agreed with that, and take people for questioning one by one. There was talk of grabbing your telepathic helmet. However, a lot of the people in the room, being the higher end of nobility in Saltmarsh, were sort of against you prying into their private thoughts straight away. You decided to start with the priest, the deceased priest, and you dragged him into Misty's quarters where you were assigned your interrogation room, and you cast Speak with Dead of him. You asked him a series of questions, but you didn't really learn any more than you already knew. And however, you did learn he would like to be buried at sea as his final wish. So you shoved him out the window.
Gracefully.
The ship being anchored, he just sort of bobbed next to the boat for a bit.
Just before I bled him.
Yes, just before you
from the
drain
groin.
his blood. From the groin, that was it. Yeah, the poison was called Black Nightshade, and as I said, it was used by assassins. You next interviewed Carmilla. I believe this was because of her connection with the dragon tattoo on her shoulder and the dagger being made by dragon bone. Ozzy asked her a few questions and managed to charm her, but decided she was clear and there was very little that she had to add. And then you had mixed feelings about who was the target, possibly Scarrin, the priest. Were they actually the targets, or was it somebody else? Scarrick, you decided to locate the diamond, and you found that it was in a locked chest in Gellen's quarters. You brought the chest down and found out it was Gellen's. However, you also found a letter in a not-so-secret compartment in one of his drawers. And the letter was regarding the murder, however, no one had left to write this. And it also gave light on the fact that Gellin and Carmilla had additional communications, because it was from Carmilla to Gellin. You then... Ozzy, you did show the letter to Gellin as well, and you got a sad, confused reaction. And he said he'd never, when you took him for questioning, he said he'd never seen the letter and confessed his innocence to the murders. There were some things he wasn't so innocent about, but none of the things on the ship that happened. You then decided to interview Mormac. Again, very little came from this. You just found out he's good friends with Gellin. They had business together. There's no real motive for him to kill or frame Gellin, which is sort of the path you're going down. And you sort of came to the conclusion Anders maybe had the most to gain. Questioning Anders, unfortunately the charm spell didn't work. This was the last time and it didn't. But he didn't come across as being unloyal, and he was confused why you would accuse him of killing one of his best friends, his butler, without the intention of having him revived. And he also didn't seem to know anything about Carmilla and Gellin, which you had found out about, that they were having an affair. as you sort of came out of your questioning, no more enlightened, no one as the real suspect, no one as the real target, Gellin suggested that you slept for the evening as it was quite a stressful ordeal. Lots of brandy was taken. He proposed you all went back to your rooms, and Picard, I believe you volunteered to keep watch.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we will pick up. As you are still in the dining room at this point, and people are beginning to leave, you now notice now the chaos in the room has calmed, that a storm has begun to roll in on the sea.
It looks like I'm in... Is that Misty's room?
Yes.
Before we go to bed then, can I just give this room a once over? Because I don't think we actually, like, checked this room.
Yeah, okay.
The whole time we've been in there. I don't know if, like...
You haven't.
Well, she's not here, like...
So make a perception check just before you leave the room.
Ah, shit, my dice tray. I'll have to go on here. Terrible. 11.
Okay. You search the room, but you're in a rush to leave back out. You don't want it to seem like you're just hanging behind. You find her hat is on the table. She wasn't wearing it at the dinner table, which would be obviously slightly unlucky. There are a few notes, a few maps and things of tide times. You do find hung up near her bed, she has a hammock, and next to the hammock there's a nail on one of the posts. Hanging around the nail is a bandolier for daggers, and your mind goes back to when she was throwing the daggers. She seemed to have a keen hand, and this seems to be her weapon of choice. As you look down the bandolier, you see there are 3 daggers missing.
Shit.
And as you come back into the room, you see the hustle and bustle of people begin to move. The servants are hurriedly beginning to clear the table. Is there anything else you'd like to do before they leave?
If I remember rightly, she had 2 daggers drawn after the darkness cleared, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
I wonder if she threw... The guy who had his throat slit. Well, this is my thought process as I'm walking past. So can I walk past his body? Oh no, wait, he got revived, didn't he?
He is revived, yeah. So there is, you can see a trail of where the injury was. There is now like scar tissue beginning to form, and there is still some of the...
Scaring.
Hey.
No, you're scaring. Scaring. As I'm like walk past him. Come here a second.
Yes.
And I give his throat a once over. Would I be able to tell if this wound was
Surely
from
you'd
being
see.
thrown
That
or
way or
from
that
being
way.
slit? Is that even possible? I don't know.
Make a...
At least a direction.
Make a medicine check.
Medicine check. Natural 20 for 21.
You haven't had much experience of battle. However, the more you've been with the party, the more you have fought, the more you've sort of understood the lay of wounds and how wounds are created. The slit on Scarin's throat is almost side to side, like a decapitation in some essence. That's why he died so quickly. There was not the chance to grasp the wound, it was so large. However, for someone to throw a dagger from the angle she was would be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
You would expect it to stick in, you'd expect there to be it looks like his throat was straight across.
Okay. Just checking something. Don't worry. How you feeling?
Very well. I'm shocked, to say the least. Why me? I'm merely a butler.
That's a very good question. Why you? Why would someone want to kill you?
perhaps I was not the target. I do ask, Ozzy, you and your band are so good at what you do. Anders is always talking about you. Please.
Are you talking about my band or the Mr. Men?
No, the fellows you're with now.
Oh, because the band was legendary. Yeah, we'll go on, carry on.
Look after him this evening. Would you guard the room? I do not think the murder had me in mind, and I do not think I will be a target again. I believe that Anders is...
This is a very sophisticated attack. How would they slit the throat of the wrong person? That seems very...
I couldn't see a thing. Could you? I know sometimes... And I think you've noticed this before, but Scarin is a half-elf. So he would potentially have dark vision as well.
Well,
I don't know.
There was only a couple of you sat on that side of the table. And if I remember right, there was Scarin on his right, there was the priest, and on his left was Picard. No, Styles.
No, he was on.
I was on his left.
Scarin was on the other side of the table next to the Commodore.
So there was Scarin, and then it was Father Wyndham, and then it was Carmilla in the free seats here from centre. And then it was Styles, as you said.
So if you're the wrong target, that would leave to either Styles or the priest, but the priest was, we assume, already poisoned. So
it is so confusing.
Very.
What a terrible affair.
I need a good old-fashioned fuck and some sleep, and I will get both of them tonight.
I'm sure you will, sir. I will tend to Anders and Carmilla. And as I said, please, if you could, protect them.
Well,
they are more important than me.
Well, we'll do our best to protect everybody, because that seems to be our role in this world now. And Mr. Picard doesn't sleep, so he said he's going to keep watch over everyone.
Very well, sir. And you see him, and he goes, and Anders and Carmilla, arm in arm, begin to leave the room with him. And at this point, you see Gellin comes across. Oh, I will see you to your room. And he puts his arm around both of Anders and Carmilla. I'm ever so sorry. This is obviously not part of the plan. This is supposed to be a pleasure cruise, and they begin to walk out of the room towards the doors.
As they go out towards the doors, well, as they leave the door,
yep,
I cast a message to Scarrig saying, I'll see you back in the room. Then I'm gonna go invisible.
I'm thinking about maybe sleeping in here, kind of, so that if the captain moves, I'll know about it.
I've already left.
Yeah, but that was it not a message?
Oh yeah, cool, yeah. I don't cast anything back to you.
And I just kind of stand there going, no, because I expect it coming.
Yeah, I will go
I'm
invisible.
stood next to you, Picard, just kind of doing that in your face.
And attempt to sneak after them three.
Okay.
To listen in on any conversations they might be having.
Make a stealth check with advantage, which is invisibility. Just one thing to note. I believe when I dragged the cook out, I dragged him out from this room on this deck, but the kitchens are actually below next to the engine room, so he would have come from the main door with the food, and if you remember, a couple of people got up and helped him and served it to the table.
Yeah, the waitresses, right? The maids.
Yeah,
when he
and
bought
Scarin, I think, at one point, and someone else.
Mormac and Scarin did help with the food as well.
Right, okay.
When they brought the lobster out. But he has now retired to his room, which is opposite the captain's.
Interesting. 21 on stealth.
Okay. you easily manage to catch the door. There's a few other people coming out. Mormac begins to come through. Just as people are departing the room and the maids are finishing clearing and taking some of the things out, the Commodore comes to you, Styles. Can I just have a word, captain to captain?
Yes, of course we can.
The fuck?
Where's Pancart in this?
What have you
Out of
found so
earshot.
far?
Well, nothing of instance. We're still looking into it. Hopefully tomorrow we'll
Yes.
lighten everything.
Right.
What are your thoughts, Captain? You must have been around situations like this in your long career.
And you see his
As Commodore.
face go from one which he's been fairly on and off, like hot and cold. But when you ask him for his opinion, his face lightens up a little bit. Oh, I'm glad you asked. I don't know if you know this, but Mormac, are you aware he is a man of magic? He normally waits till after dinner to get his bag of tricks out, so to speak, but he can cast, and I've seen him cast powerful spells before. And did you see him help bring out the food?
Yes, it was noticed. Yeah, that was powerful magic. I don't know if it was a lack of light or it seemed to be make everyone blind temporarily. It wasn't.
I don't know, but that was no normal feat. That's something someone powerful's done. Anyway, I was doubtful at first, but I've assessed the people here, and I'm a good judge of character. If you need assistance in the investigation, then please feel free to ask.
No, I appreciate it. One naval man to another. Why? Do you think the old priest was the target, or do you think the butler? It seems strange that one should have his throat slit for the other one to be poisoned.
It's hard to say. Most attacks would use one method. Why not poison them both? As most sailors do, I do have a history. Perhaps one of the more sinister kind. And something seems off to me. Perhaps it's the wrong hit, perhaps this is all just a distraction.
Yes, we'll see what the night brings.
Be on your guard, Captain. As I
You
will
too,
be on
Commodore.
mine.
Whatever.
Good evening.
While that's
Met that.
happening, can I have a conversation with Picard?
Oh, please. Address me as captain.
Captain,
Oh.
just while
Yes.
I've got you, don't know whether it's just a hunch, but maybe while you're on watch, just keep an eye on the Commodore's room. Make sure he doesn't sneak out or anything.
No, indeed, I'll be keeping a keen eye.
That's who's talking to Styles, isn't it? The Commodore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, maybe you should hang on to this, and I pass him the diamond.
Yes. Packard says, "Oh yes." And he puts it in his pocket.
I walk over to them two and relay what the Commodore says.
Yeah.
I asked them who's got the letter that we found.
That'd be Scarrick, I believe.
Yeah, I've got it.
Maybe,
it's here.
Maybe we
Is
should.
anyone any good at like handwriting?
Well, that's what I
examination?
was. That is what I was thinking. Maybe we should confront Camilla with it.
Oh
see
shit!
what she
I was just
says.
thinking, maybe before we let everyone, just we need to inspect their hands, see if they've got. Can I
Actually,
rub the residue sticky thing
don't
on my
have the
hand?
letter.
Does it leave anything?
you gave it back to Galen.
Oh yeah, we did. The sticky resin stuff, I will put it on my hand. Does it leave like a imprint or residue?
We just have a quick look. What are you doing, Ozzy, while they begin to leave?
I'm tailing Gellin, Anders, and Camilla to see what they talk about.
Okay.
It was very much on a whim, that was.
Who has the knife? Venom knife.
I'd say you.
Okay.
It's
I don't know.
so
Who?
I think it is you, to be fair.
Yeah, because you were like investigating the
It's
poison
on the
and stuff.
table,
weren't
one
you?
eye.
Yeah.
Oh no, someone looked at it and it said Ricky Ball Eye, one eye. Sorry.
Or was that you? Because you normally inspect weapons, and you would have gathered that it was.
Maybe I've
venomous.
got it then. Yeah. Oh, I'll have it. Whatever. I'll have it then.
Whoever has it. Has
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The thing that it's been used to stick to the outside table is a tree resin. It seems that when it's warmed in the palm, it gains that sticky, and it's less as it cools to room temperature. You see, it has left some marks on your hand, but not.
Does it smell?
It's not like a tar. Make a
Like
perception
normally,
check.
any sort of resin, when it leaves like a sticky
Yeah,
smell. on
it
it.
has a scent. It has
Yeah.
a
Okay.
scent. Let me smell your fingers. Is that where we're going?
Come here, I want to smell your
Guys,
fingers.
There's going to be a lot of
Guys,
smelly fingers on this pleasure
I really
cruise.
think we need to go around and smell a load of people's fingers
Wow.
quickly now before they go to bed, or at least call a quick alarm. I think it's important. It may have been a mage hand that put it there, but just in case. Do you think we should call this in now?
I'm not
It's
there.
a shame. It's a shame. I was in here because maybe Ellie could track it. I don't know if dragons can track scents.
Stop it! Stop these guys and you smell their hands. And I'm running out the door. Ozzy! Ozzy!
So Ozzy, at this point, you can't see anywhere. He is.
I'm running into the corridor and shouting.
Yeah. So you push past Ozzy. I'd say Ozzy, you get pushed out of the way, like just sideways. A Gellin as Scarin comes barging through the door. What do you shout, Scarin?
Ozzy, are you there? Oh, hi guys. Really nice to meet you. And I reach out to shake the hands. And then like
Gellin's sort of-
almost comically like go to kiss it rather than thinking and smell it.
Okay, so you take Gellin's first, and he sort of raises it in an odd manner, sort of tending to you as he's got one arm around Camilla, and Anders at this point is closest to the door. Make a perception check. You can either use perception or investigation, and if you're trying to smell it or just look and feel.
It's a 15.
15. There is the trail of lobster and bisque that was served. Obviously, most people have eaten that with a spoon. Some has spilled onto his fingers. But you do not see any of the residue, and you don't pick up on the smell on Gellin's. You move to Camilla.
And I kind of awkwardly stumble past and go for the Scarin.
Sorry, we lost you about.
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Camilla and Anders
sorry.
first, or you just push back?
No, I kind of just wish them a good evening, and I walk on to Scarin. I want to definitely smell his first.
Alright.
Smell my fingers.
Scarin,
do you
it's
take
been a
his hand?
pleasure. Is it if he's there? Yeah, I grab both of his hands and just say, "It's been a pleasure meeting you." And
You
go
grab
for the
both
kissing.
his hands and raise them up, and you feel a bit of resistance as he does. But what you grab is a soft cotton glove, common in the butling profession. His gloves, as you look at them in your hands, are immaculate. The same as his full attire. Now, this is something that piques your interest. Although he's had his throat slit and been laid on a table full of food, gravies and wines and
Mr.
ale.
Digitation.
Well, you think back now, his clothes have never been dirty. When he stood up, they were still clean, and you also, as you push past Carmela and Anders, both of their clothes are clean as well. And they're obviously sat in. You look down at your own, and you see there's splashes of gravy, there's wine, where glass and bits of plate have been.
But the wound's still there.
Wound is still there, yeah. You can still see the small
Ozzy,
scars.
did you touch it, or did you just look at it? Oh, cat, sorry.
I just kind of like held him by the shoulders and was like looking at his neck. I didn't touch the wound, no.
oh, that really is a nasty one. It's going to leave a scar, and I just tried to touch it.
Make a dexterity check. He's going to try and pull
Yeah,
away.
boy.
Oh, I see what you're thinking.
Fuck is my dexterity? Oh, is that at the top, is it? Yeah. Fuck my man, there's one. 17.
And yours is, that's final result. You
Yeah.
move rapidly towards his neck, but just as quick as you, slightly faster, he pulls away and knocks your hand. Excuse me, sir. Please. No.
I've got. It's alright. I've got healing powers. So I just want to heal it for you.
It's healed enough, and you see his hand go to it and touch it.
Does it move when he touches it?
No.
But then again, illusions can move, can't they? I'm sorry to offend. Would you mind if
One
I
thing,
touched your wound?
Okay, go on.
It's part of the investigation. If I want to be honest with you.
Very, very well. And you see him.
Thank you, sir.
He moves his jacket down slightly, and you raise your hand up.
I really gently just touch it to see if it's real. Like I want if
You
there's
feel
like
across it, and you can feel the rays where the
bump,
scar
if there's a
tissue is
bump,
pushed up.
okay.
Yeah, it's a real wound.
It's not an illusion. Okay.
Good thinking, then.
Sorry for that, sir. I just needed to be sure.
And Anders sort of comes behind. I have to say, your investigation tactics are very, very odd. You have thrown a priest overboard. You're now poking my butler's wound.
I'm really sorry, sir. Great meeting you too. And I grasp his again and go for it.
Scarrick's
Oh no, we've already met every
mission
time.
here.
You smell his hands, and these are clean. There's nothing on there. He turns to Carmilla, and you sort of hear him mumble under his breath. I believe this might be a dwarven custom.
That's what I
You
thought.
sort of see a weird side eye. Scarrick,
Lady.
may we please go to bed now? It's been an awful
sorry.
afternoon.
I'm sorry about keeping you up. Milady, it's been great seeing you too.
And you see she brings her hands to yours and sort of and looks towards Anders.
So go for that sniff.
Make a perception check with powers on.
Oh. 9.
9. You get the heavy scent of perfumes where she has dabbed exotic oils and fragrances with her fingers onto her neck. But other than that, you don't see any residue.
You also smell Gellen's butthole.
Okay, and I'll let them all pass then.
Okay, and as they sort of usher past, you see Skerin leaves them to enter the room, and you see him just have a quick conversation. You see this as well, Ozzy, as you come behind. Just if they need anything to call or knock on, and he will be just in the room next door. And then he goes to his room, which is this one, and they go into theirs. And Gowron enters the room with Carmilla and Anders. And Ozzy, if you want to try and go in,
Yeah.
you'll have to make a dexterity check. Athletics or acrobatics, up to you. Well, it has to be acrobatics. You're trying to slip through.
Acrobatics.
Let's see how easy it is.
It's not my job.
And Scarrick, what you see is like Gellin goes in behind, and he's got the door, and he's sort of leaning around, and he's like, good night, Scarrick. Sleep well, and as I said, we'll bring this about in the morning. Hey, old chap.
Aye, I'm sure we'll figure it out, pal. Don't you worry.
Buddy,
I'm going back for
Not
a
your
drink.
buddy, guy. Ozzy, you managed to slip into
Yeah,
the room
22.
as Gellin is talking to Scarrick. He's got the door wide enough so you can see, and you take a chance and just into the room, back against the wall. The room is very similar to the rest of the ship. A large double bed, writing desk with a few papers spread across it. Gellin sits on the table as they sit on the bed, and you hear him talk to him again, apologizing profusely. Oh, and his head goes to his hand. Anders, my dear boy. Why? Why here? Why now? What? Do you think this is someone who is coming for you, or for me, or for our dear Camilla? And it's like, I truly do not know. We know everybody here, Gellin. These are all our friends. We have cruised before. Why? The only new people are the Mr. Men, but they are... No. And Carmilla turns to Anders. My dear, no, I know I have only met them for a short while, but what you have said about them, and even Gellin, when I have seen him, they are good people. They would not... No, not them, dear, not them. If not them, then who? I just hope they can get to the bottom of this tomorrow. We cannot leave this ship until this is resolved. The murderer may be rife. I've asked him to guard your room, and I'm sure all this will be dealt with in the morning, my dears. And you see, and he goes and embraces Anders, and then embraces Carmilla, and you see embraces slightly longer. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I bid you good night.
Oh, shit.
And he leaves the room.
I tried to leave at the same time.
Yeah, make a acrobatics check.
Oh, God. 9.
9. Okay. You start to make your way to the door, and then you realise the time is slightly right. What do you wish to do? Do you wish to push and go for it, or do you wish to wait? Remember, all doors do have locks.
What? Yeah, but he's not. He isn't going to lock the door. Is
Gellin
he?
isn't going to lock it, no,
No.
but he is going to shut it behind him. He's making to shut it now as he pulls it to.
Oh, I'll be brilliant. It works up. Not
I
invisible.
just stand there, freeze.
Okay. As you freeze, Gellin pulls the door to, and you see Anders turn to Carmilla.
Shit.
My dear, I am so sorry. We must protect ourselves, and you see he gets up and he moves to the door and locks it with the key, and then brings the key back and places it on the desk. That is more security. We will be safe. Now, we should rest. It's been
No.
a terrible evening.
Don't rest. Fuck. I'm going to
And
watch.
she says, yes, my dear,
I pulled down
I
my pants.
cannot think straight for anything. And as you stand in the corner of the room invisible, how long does your invisibility last?
An hour, I think.
An hour. They get into bed, and you see them undress into their night gear, and they get into bed and fall asleep. You do get a raucous view of both of them.
Damn.
Anders' child body, Camilla's barely woman body.
Jesus. I feel like a dolphin.
So, as they have turned in for the evening, Mormac also, I'd say, Scarrick, as you're coming out from doing the finger sniffing, Mormac is now coming through at this point.
Morning, Mac. My
Get his
man.
fingers.
Great meeting you too. And I take
Yes,
it,
yes.
unless I didn't see whether these guys have already sniffed his fingers, so he's going to think if they have, it's going to be a Mr. Men thing. But yeah,
They
I just go for the sniff.
I like to think we didn't really understand what you did. If
Yeah,
you
Pike
did it in a bit of a
had
hurry.
no understanding of sniffing fingers. Just watched you
What
run
is he
off into
going
the
on about
corridor.
smelling and resin and
So you grasp his hands. Oh, my dear chap. Oh. And make a perception check.
6.
6. There is the thick scent on one hand of a natural substance. However, you pinpoint it to the cigars that Gellin had been passing around earlier, and you remember Mormac had been smoking one in one hand. The other has a mixture of brandies and wines, and where the glass is tipped slightly from the ship. There is no sign of the resin in that scent palette. However, he then removes his hands and sort of awkwardly looks around. Well, good night, old chap. Taps you on the shoulder slightly and moves to his room, which you see is just behind you. And you hear the door turn and lock.
Yeah, right.
At this point, the maids have cleared the table, and it is now bare to the best of their ability.
Right, well, guys, you shouldn't have cleaned up the crime scene, really. But okay. Commodore,
Yeah, well-
Colonel, Captain, great meeting you. And go for the whatever he's
Okay.
Commodore, is
Perception
it?
check. Yeah. Yes.
21.
Again, an interesting mix of smells. An odd scent of in-ground fish, perhaps from the sea, perhaps not. You do not know. But there is no smell of the resin on his hands. Well, yes. Good night.
Good night.
And you do. One scent you do get. You rolled quite high. You get the scent of a sweet but earthy sort of mixture of smells, and it reminds you of when you were when you collected the pieces for the ballista from the carpenters in Saltmarsh. There's an air of that. And he bids you good night and heads to his room, and you see as he goes through the door, he heads up to the deck. For his room and Gellin's room are on the top deck. You remember
As
when
he
you went to get the
leaves,
trunk.
I wink toward. Sorry.
When you went to get the trunk, there was one room to the right and one room to the left underneath the poop deck. You presume the other is.
As he
his.
leaves, I wink towards Picard and like nod towards him, like.
And Pikehead says, "Are you okay, Mr. Scarrick? You appear."
I think
Yeah,
we should keep an
uncomfortable.
eye on him, definitely.
Oh, I see. Yes, I'll be sure to do that.
I'm just gonna. If we can get, is there brandy on the table? No.
No, there isn't. But if you need some, you can acquire some.
I
quite
reach
easily.
into my bag and get out the alchemy jug. It's got vinegar on, isn't it? Oh, where is it?
Yeah, I think it does do vinegar. It was oil and something else, wasn't it?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, so I'll do a little shot of vinegar and just fucking like snort that and like, ugh, gosh, fucking stinky rich people's hands, fucking, ugh, horrible. And then I'll start pouring out beer and start having a few beers.
I'd say there's still some glassware and thingies that isn't broken, like huddled at one end of the table, so you managed to get enough to pour a drink. So you say the large dining table. What are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look at the. I'm assuming it's lit by candles. I'm just gonna have a look at one just to see if there's with the magic nature of the ship and how things can be manipulated.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if there's anything on just out of curiosity because I'm assuming the darkness wasn't. Well, it wasn't darkness. It was more blindness, like the inability to see. More
No,
than
there is a
nothing
spell
to
called
see.
Darkness that is basically like you can't see
You
through
might
it
not
even
know
with
that.
dark vision.
Yeah, I don't know that.
So for you, Styles, it was just a pitch blackness that you've never experienced before.
If I remember rightly, actually, the way you described it, didn't you say there was like it emanated from the center of the table out like a black sphere?
Yeah, it seemed to come from the center of the table in a.
Okay.
Oh.
It seemed to get darker, and then all of a sudden everything was dark, and you couldn't even see your hands in front of your face. And
Did it
you've
come
been on
from
ships in the middle of the ocean.
a particular
Yeah.
object, or did it just come out of thin air?
It seemed to come from the middle of the table.
Yeah, so before they were tidying up, that's what I was looking at. I was just looking. Was
Yeah.
anything like as if it could have been like some type of I don't know, like a grenade
Um,
or something?
Make a Arcana check.
$13.
You pick up some of the things as they're sort of moving around and picking up the broken bits, and everything seems to be normal. All the plates seem to be normal. There is no. You don't have much experience with magic, but when you have worked on a vessel with magic or you've used a magic item, there always seems to be some sort of source for you. If it's an item or a thing that does something, there's always something that does it, if you know what I mean. You can't see anything like that. You check the candles on the walls, and at this point they've melted down quite significantly, and you see they are just a normal wax candle.
Okay.
Unless you want to go first, Picard, because I think
I was
mine's
gonna-
going to take a little bit of time.
Oh yeah, mine's just be quickly. Before the servant girls left, Picard asks one of them for a pen and paper.
They bring up a quill and parchment, sir.
Excellent. So he just goes and sits off in the corner writing for a moment.
Okay.
I'm still just kind of glancing over occasionally at Pac-Man like,
I'm like, do you want me to get someone? Think you're...
William is having a seizure.
I can cast a spell and make you better.
You kill him.
Exactly. Put you out
Make-
of
I
your
can make your
misery.
face
drink more
melt.
beer.
I would. So obviously a little bit of time had passed whilst they get undressed and get into
Yeah,
bed,
so,
and I'm just like awkwardly stood there trying
So
to.
just while the
think.
rest of the time's passing, while you're stood there, are the rest of you just staying in the dining area?
I will
I'm
be
going to-
sleeping around here.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the cabin and
Okay.
rearm myself.
Okay. So you head back downstairs.
Yeah, and then I'm
so
going
I'll
to
be
just
sleeping
get some
here.
fresh air on the top deck, just walking on the open deck.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. It's quite wet, but you put on a large coat, one of the overalls that is in your room, and you pace up and down.
How late is it?
You are. It's quite late, so you had the afternoon. You sailed out. You had the afternoon activities. You then had the break, and then the gambling, and then the dinner. So dinner was served around 9:10, that sort of time. And by this point, it's probably about 1 or 2, if not a little later from all the interrogation. So dawn is a few hours off. And as you pace the deck, you are reminded about the pure darkness of the sea. There are a few lanterns on deck that are the only light, and everywhere else with the clouds covering is just a sea of black. Ozzy.
So I stand there, not knowing what to do with myself. I think about picking up the key to like let myself out. I then notice that they get undressed, so I'll just wait a little bit. And then once they sort of like settle into bed, I'm like,
Did you see it?
the camera flash goes off. I'll just, without moving anything about, I'll just look around like on the desk if there's any like papers or anything of note.
Okay. Let me just have a quick look. Okay, so you see on the desk there are a few papers scattered around, and as you sort of, with your dark vision, go through them, you see they are records of the Saltmarsh Fishing Company, and they seem to be, there's small notations and stuff like that. And you see at the top of the desk there is a stationary like line, so there's parchment ink, and you notice as well the Saltmarsh seal is on there, and it doesn't look like it's a portable thing. It looks like something that is, this is, whenever they come on the cruise, this is their room and they have their belongings here. You get that sense it's lived in by them, or at least by Anders.
Are these letters written by Anders? Are they signed off by him or Camilla?
There's a mixture of writings from Dockmasters, but there is enough notations by him for you to be able to tell which pieces are his, and there'll be a few bits where he's signed his name or signed off.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, like, do I recognise the handwriting from the letter that was written for Gellin?
Yeah, I see what you're going for, and make a perception check.
Using
Or no,
digital die.
investigation. Investigation, because you're trying to...
Well, that would be 13 then.
It's hard to tell because there isn't too much writing on here to give you a full sort of alphabet of his writing style. It doesn't strike a resemblance, and you can't see any writing of Camilla's on here. That
Okay.
seems to be his notes.
I look at them both one more time.
He sleeps soundly in bed. Carmilla is closest to the window and Anders against the wall.
I look to the door and the key. I look back to them,
So the key is on the desk.
and then I look to the window, and I use Misty Step to go out the window.
Okay. Do you have to open it first?
No, as long as I can see through it.
It's
As long as I
solid
can-
wood. It's
as
like a
long as-
porthole.
As long
Like a
as I can.
solid wooden shutter.
Oh, okay. Oh. Then I. Oh. Then I. Oh. I don't-
Sleep there.
You could see through the keyhole.
Oh, okay, I'll do that then. That's not as funny, but okay. I will go up to the keyhole, look through to the other side of the keyhole, and then, like, Misty Step and appear the other side of it.
Nice.
Or not appear at the other side of it.
So as you come into the corridor,
Well,
this
at
is,
which point the invisibility would drop, because I've just used
Yeah.
the spell.
we'd say at this point it's probably been just over an hour as well. Time has passed. They've got changed, got settled. You'd probably lost the last bit of invisibility in the room, but you were just covered by darkness and able to sneak around. As you come into the corridor, there's a dim light at one end that sends illumination down. You just see the 4 doors all closed, and no one is on watch. It's just you.
Packard is going to be out on watch in a moment.
Whose is this room? I wouldn't know, would I? Suppose.
You wouldn't know,
No.
but you haven't seen anyone go back into it, so you could assume it's the priest's,
Oh,
since he no longer needs it.
oh god! I need to get some sleep though. This is going to be going on too long. I'll stick my head into the dining room. Is anyone still there? Is anyone still up, or is what else?
Packard's there.
Packard's there, and
I'm asleep.
Scarrick is asleep at one end
Packard.
with
Packard.
a series of empty glasses around him, I'd imagine.
I'm
Oh, hello.
Hey, I'm gonna head to bed.
Yes.
Listen, I don't know what you're keeping an eye on in here, but there's like some rooms that need watching. Listen, in the far corner, I think that was the priest's room. Maybe you want to have a snoop about, see what you can find, or make sure that no one goes in there to, like, I don't know, destroy evidence or anything. I'm gonna go get some sleep though, because I am fucked.
Yes, I'll go stand guard, and I might have a little peek in.
Yeah, there might be some information. You never know. I'd do it myself, but I'm pooped. So, yeah, I'll leave you to it. I'll see you in the morning. All right. Stay safe.
Right.
If you need help,
Right.
like, just scream really loudly like a girl. I'll come running.
I will try.
All right. Night. And I'm gonna head back to the room.
You head back down. Packard, what are you doing?
Well, I finished my writing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I wrote a.
Because they care to tell us what you were writing.
Yeah. I wrote a contract or an agreement of sorts for. Basically, I wrote people's Miranda rights on a big document, and I asking whether they would consent to being brain scanned.
Nice.
And it'll say on it, things like, you don't have to, but it might look bad if you don't get brain scanned.
Oh shit. A reminder for Scarrick then to change your spells before you wake after your long rest.
Yeah.
Prep your new ones. Yeah.
I already did it at the end of the last session.
Fair.
Ooh. So yeah, Packard's just gonna have a little wander down to the old priest
Okay,
room.
so the priest room is unlocked. It tends to be locked from the inside. And as you head in, the room is dark. There's no light. Do you have dark vision?
I don't, but I can cast light as a cantrip, so I can touch
Yeah.
an object, make it light.
Nice.
I touch my sword, and I hold it aloft like a lightsaber.
Nice. It's clear the priest has stayed here many times before.
Make the
There
noises
are,
as well.
Symbols of Procan attached to the wall, large tomes in corners, which seem to be writings, and you see in one of the trunk is more like a standing chest with robes and different garments for him to wear. There's the bed, the desk, the similar thing, which are in all the rooms. There is also a list of ships and names of crew members, some ticks beside the names on like a wooden plaque on one wall.
It's intriguing.
You would like to try and learn more if you make a history check for me.
Ooh, history. History.
Use that strong memory of yours.
It's a 17, but I think
Disadvantage.
when you yeah, 17, I'll say.
So you look over it and you see that the names are ships, and next to it you can see like the layout of a crew. Some would have the CPT of captain, and then you look at the ones with ticks, and you recall seeing a board when you were in Saltmarsh on the docks, when you've stared out or just paced around near the sea. There is almost like a missing vessel board. Vessels that have never returned, and you see that some of the names appear to match on here. You presume from your little memory of navality.
Fishes.
Good on that. Navality is probably more likely to be a word than fishes. Anyway, that these are probably sunken ships, and the priest was potentially looking for these people to give them a proper blessing over where the situations lied. Perhaps a side project to when they were on voyages.
How intriguing.
And that is all you find in here.
I'm gonna just quickly cast a fucking spells. A detect magic.
Okay.
Is there anything
And I believe
magical?
does that only work in the room? I don't think it
Since the presence of magic within 30 feet of you, can use your action to see anything or around any visible creature or object in the area. So yeah, basically anything I can see.
anything you can see within 30 feet.
It'll create an aura.
Okay. You do not get any pings in here. You get a general sense from like the holy symbol and stuff, but it's more a religious bearing than magic itself. So it's not a magic item.
Tasty. Right, I'm gonna return to my. I'm gonna quickly scribble down with a spare piece of paper and my pen. I'm just gonna scribble down the boats on the wall, just for future reference.
The ones with tick or ones without?
All of them, all the information.
Okay. I'll make a note to create that.
Thank you.
Your detect magic would still be up as you head back, right?
Yeah, it lasts up to 10 minutes. It says here it can penetrate barriers. Hang on. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. So can I see the aura through things?
What does it say? Does it say you can do it? Don't think.
If you sense magic in this way, so that's anything within 30 feet, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. And you learn its skull. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of metal, a thin sheet of lead, wood, or dirt. So why would it say it's blocked by certain things, but it also has to be visible?
Yeah.
Surely they negate each other.
I think you've got to be able to see it, yeah.
The spell can penetrate
Like,
most.
what it means is if someone had something in like a lead bag, you could
Yeah.
see the person,
Oh.
but you wouldn't be able to see them. You wouldn't be able to see the item.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Or if they were wearing like wooden armor.
But in theory, you would. If there was something on the deck below you, you would see it, right? Sort of sense it, because it's more than. It's
If
not.
it's within 30 feet, yeah, because
think
it's not a foot. It's not
The
3
walls
feet
would block
of wood.
it, wouldn't they?
It says 3 feet.
No,
of wood.
doesn't need to be like 3
Oh, is it
feet of
3
wood.
feet of wood?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you get several pings.
Yeah,
You obviously get
All of the
ping from
engines.
Ozzy. You get a ping
so
from-
hang on, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just reading it as we're going along. The way I interpret this, you sense magic in this way. So you would sense that there's magic that's
You've got to
not
lock on
there.
and vision.
Yeah.
But to
I can't
see
see
it,
it.
you have to visualize. You have to be in
Alright.
visible line.
So you
to
sense
see.
there's magic coming from below deck,
Yeah.
which you know your rooms. Obviously the engine. You also sense magic in all the rooms around you but the priests.
Oh, everyone's got magic apart from the priest. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll be cheeky then, and I'm going to start peeking through keyholes.
The doors are locked.
Is there no keyholes?
Oh, you want
Keys
to
in
look
the
through the
keyhole.
keyhole.
I threw the keyhole.
Through the keyhole. Okay.
And just see what I can see. If anything's glowing.
This would be roughly 2 o'clock in the morning, perhaps.
Yeah.
You've just gone to bed. You've just come down here. You look through Scaren's room and you see a glowing lump in the bed,
Interesting.
shape of a humanoid.
Ooh.
Are you
Right.
trying to find out what magic it is?
Oh, I might as well. Yeah. While I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
shit! I think Pag has just cracked it, and he probably doesn't even realise.
I say not on purpose.
So you get Let me just check which form of magic it is. You see illusion magic
Whoa.
around this form.
Ah, that's not Scarron, is it?
Oh, interesting.
Right. But
I move on.
the wound was already there,
Um,
and he
Well,
made
Max.
it look real. That's why I was wondering about the blood on the table in my head. Is there blood?
You touched his scar, didn't you?
Yeah, the scar
Think of
was
it.
real, but it could be a fake scar already, or like a, made a scar, pre it, and then illusioned of nice neck,
It's illusioned a nice neck.
and then illusioned
You-
a blood spurt.
You detect a source of magic on him. Let me just have a look.
Well, is he looking?
seems to-
Well, I don't know.
Go on.
I'm just checking you're not going to give too much away with that spell. You would say.
Yeah, just
He
a
would
school
see a
of magic,
faint
isn't it?
aura around any visible creature or object that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic.
Yeah, so you
So-
see a faint aura around the size of a book
Okay.
in the bed.
And
What school's it from?
he's also got an aura around him.
Just a book. This is a bit of a tricky one because
Okay.
because of what it is,
Right.
and it's not really a school of magic. It's more like a magic. It's used for magic.
Yeah, I get you. I'll
Um,
check out these punks.
So as you look through this one, you see a very similar outline as you saw in Scarron's. The bodies seem to emanate magic. However, this is transmutation magic.
My Packard's walking down the corridor, very confused.
Oh my
What's that?
god.
Oh,
We don't know
Maybe I
any of
should-
this.
maybe I should pop upstairs and check out those other rooms.
Just meta games to save time. Like,
Mhm.
is there blood on the table? Like I would have looked.
There was blood on the table, yeah. For all intents and purposes, you believe the slit in his throat was real.
It was a real thing, yeah, not illusion.
It'd be very hard to make an illusion like that with, like, some of you got covered with the blood, there's bits of thingy, and some of it's still on your clothes and was being wiped off the table, which for an illusion wouldn't have held up. Are you going upstairs?
Yes,
Point
please.
out how
Commodores.
immaculate they all
Yeah.
were afterwards, though, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what's just awful.
Well, that's it. Yeah, there was mention of how oddly clean they were. So
I mean, that could just be the magic. They could just have like really rich, fancy people's clothes that don't get dirty.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
So
They won't be.
that your pants.
They won't be glowing. They won't be glowing.
No,
it's
if they're not
absolutely
just a
boring.
magic user.
No, you don't glow if you're a magic user. You
It's
a
only a
magical
magic item that will
effect
glow.
or an item would be glowing.
So they have
I
been
mean, they're
affected.
rich
affected.
people, so they've all definitely got
There's something.
magical
There's
items.
something active on them that is glowing.
Hmm.
You go upstairs, you see one of the rooms is Gallon's. His room, I don't think it doesn't have any magic.
Good old Kellen.
And neither does the Commodore's.
No. Right, back down
On the
I go.
opposite side.
I approach, because I'm on top deck as well,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
approach Picard. It's like, what are you doing? As it's peeking
I've-
through.
I'm getting some tingly feelings. I've started sensing magic. I think it's a new thing. But yeah, I'm getting vibes. Scaring Lady Camilla and Anders are. There's something off about them there. Some kind of
Off.
yeah, some kind of magic has affected them. I believe. Scaring being illusion magic, and the other two transmutation, whatever that means. What
Would
do you
like
know
to
of
make
magic?
an Arcana check to see
Oh,
whether
yeah.
you know what transmutation is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, really? 19.
19.
I'm gonna
Oh, fucking hell.
22.
Nice. So between you, as you talk over it, you sort of chat through it and different things that it could mean. You come to the point that it's the action of changing a state into another form.
Okay. State to another form. Interesting. But yeah, I've checked out some of the other rooms. Not all the rooms, but let's call it the most important rooms, and nothing major from those. So there's definitely something up for those three.
Hmm. We'll have to speak with the other misters in the morning.
Yes, we'll have to confer.
You, I think I'm going to turn in. Are you okay to? Will you be
Yes,
on your own? Or?
I'm just going to stand here and go into low power mode and just keep my eyes peeled.
Stand by. Are you standing on top deck or?
I'll stay on this floor that I'm on here,
Yep.
just outside the dining
Just don't
room.
move up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I'll just
Just
retire
start.
then.
You turn in
Retire
for the evening. Do you choose to take a short rest and be up with dawn?
Yeah.
I won't
4
be.
hours, I believe. And you're taking a long rest, so you were trying to sleep through. As the dawn light comes through your windows, a chilling scream is heard on the vessel
Picard!
coming from Anders' room. Picard, you're the first to locate the sound. Ozzy, for you, it's just above. For who? Let me just see. For you, Styles, it's in the room directly above you. You hear a scream and a panicked voice. Help! Help! I need help! Help, please! The voice of Anders.
Well, I grab my. I don't don everything. I just grab my sword belt and which would have my daggers with it.
What time would this be?
This is sort of crack of dawn, so we'll say 6. So anyone
So
taking a
we're
short
not
rest
at a
has
long
finished a
rest.
short rest. No.
Fuck.
Unless you choose to roll over and sleep through it.
I mean, I'd be happy to try that.
Can I roll to see if it wakes me up so I don't metagame it?
Yeah. Do you want me to roll the big boy?
Yeah.
Above 50 it wakes you up, below 50 it don't.
Yeah.
Can I just get in on that roll then?
88 above was wake you up.
Okay.
Scarrick. Hang on. Bounced it off the thing. Never stops. 22. You stay asleep.
So, as I
So just
run up.
before we charge to the scene, we'll have a quick wee break. And then we'll be back.
Okay.
So, who is charging to the room first? Gary, you stay
I've
asleep.
been rudely awoken by it.
And Picard's quite close. So
In,
Yep.
Yeah.
in
I'm running
in my
straight.
haze, I like sort of come out of dreaming, and I'm like, oh wow, someone's showing that girl a really good time. Oh, wait. No, wait, that doesn't sound like pleasure. That sounds like pain. And I jump out and head towards
Okay.
the sound.
So, Picard, you're first there as Anders flings open the door, and you just see him come out, panic-stricken face, crying for help, tears streaming down his eyes. You push past him and look into the room, and you see Camilla lays on the edge of the bed, a dagger sticking out of her eye socket, the
Fucking
hilt
hell.
pushed nearly all the way through. Anders grabs you. Who could have done this? Please, protect us. You said you'd protect.
I
And he
say,
just
get your hands off of me,
collapses.
you freak!
And as you push him back, he collapses onto his back in shock and tears. Mormac opens the door behind you. What's going on? What's happening? Scarin
Pushing as well.
runs from his room. You push in and see the scene.
Holy shit.
Say, nothing to see here. Classic case of dagger in the eye. Nothing unusual.
Scarin pushes both of you past and comes into the room. Get out of my way! Anders, come on. Good Lord. Who has done this? And you see him drop and he goes to cradle Anders and he's almost got him like a child in his arms.
I go over to the body.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm going to make sure she's dead.
Just-
I'm assuming she is.
Yeah, at this point the storm has receded slightly.
What time is it, Paul?
Now it's dawn between 6 and 7.
So just in case, because if Kurt actually needed spells, long rest can be 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of downtime, like light activity, reading, talking, eating, standing watch. So could that mean that he got his long rest because we probably had 2 hours of just chilling, talking,
Yeah, you didn't
eating?
really-
No, because
Well,
I
you
would
cast
cast in
we didn't
spells.
fight. Cast spells.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
but did you cast them right up to the end? You probably did, weren't you?
yeah. I cast Misty
Yeah,
Step
Yeah,
and
'cause he
then
went
cast
for
went
the
Misty
to bed.
Step
key
just
hole,
before he
didn't
went
he?
to bed.
Oh yeah, and you would, yeah.
While this is going on,
Mhm.
knowing that she's injured and not dead, I go and wake Garrick up anyway.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah, but I don't know, so I'm just,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
panicking.
Okay. And as you charge into the room,
I cast in there.
Wake up!
as you charge into the room, Gellin and the Commodore come down the stairs.
So
What is going on now? What's happened?
There's been another murder. I like looking at the body. I'm assuming she's dead by just looking at her, given
Yeah.
the damage.
Yeah.
I immediately look at the blade. And do I recognize the blade?
The blade.
Well, the dagger.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
it look like
Yeah, I was
fucking
going to say something.
fucking Captain
I was saying
Misty's?
the blade.
Oh, sorry.
The blade is interesting. It's odd. The handle seems to be that of a cutlass, and at this point, it's up to the hilt. Do you draw it out?
A bit grim, innit?
Maybe wait till the others are in the room.
You do see round a small brass ring. The words "Bluebeard" are carved.
Bluebeard.
Captain
Captain
Bluebeard.
Bluebeard.
Pirates. These
Yeah,
are
and it's
pirate
around.
weapons.
So you've got like the handle, which is a large cutlass handle. At this point, you don't know whether it's a cutlass just stabbed all the way through the bed, but like there's the guard, and then just below the guard is a small brass ring where it says Captain Bluebeard engraved into it. Quite ornate.
I look at Anders and gesture to Scarin to make him look away, and I'm gonna remove the.
And you see Scarin cradle him closer and cover his eyes. And as you pull it out, expecting to pull out a cutlass, you are shocked that it's a lot shorter. It's the size of a dagger. It sort of comes out quite easily.
And as I pull it out, I just pull the sheet over her head.
Yeah. You see, as you pull it out, just the remains of the eye socket, just destroyed, basically, and you can see down into the cavity. But what seems to have happened is, in the past, this cutlass has been damaged, and the blade has been reforged into a dagger with a cutlass handle. And you can see from the damage it's gone all the way through her skull. So.
Jesus Christ. Who's in the room?
So at this point, I'd say you're sort of next to the bed, and everyone else is beginning to push in. Mormac is held back. Commodore is at the door with Picard, and Gellin has come in. How has this happened? Another murder on my vessel? You were supposed to be watching. And he turns to Ozzy, you, and Picard, who are the ones.
Yeah, Packard, you were supposed to be watching.
How did they get in?
Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Ooh.
None past this door.
I look to where the
Then
key
how?
was left. Is it in the same? Is it in the same place?
Well, it'd be in the door now, wouldn't it? Because he opened it.
I don't know.
Yeah, he charged the door and opened it, so the key is
Oh,
now
shit,
in
yeah,
the
of
door.
course, yeah.
But as you look across to the desk, you do see that the window is slightly ajar. And you knew from last night it was fully shut because you didn't want to disturb the latch. It seems to have been pushed to, but the latch isn't fully sealed.
So in this moment, I know you want to get out some dialogue, but just in this moment, as I'm like looking at all these things, I'm also looking in the room and seeing if anybody's wet.
You lift the sheet to stare down at Camilla.
Like you wouldn't just know. People are dripping wet.
Not dripping wet,
perception
but has
check.
anyone got like maybe wet hair or like damp or do you know what I mean? Like I'm looking for
perception check.
subtle signs. Natural
Probably
20,
smell it, someone
26.
had been in the sea.
Oh,
26.
I get so many fucking natural 20s in this campaign, and not only rolling physical dice, but also digital dice. It's mental.
It's lucky campaign. And Pat just uses luck all the time. No one appears to be wet.
Okay.
But again, Garen and there's Carmilla. Actually, no, Carmilla, who is in a bedgown, is doused in blood. The bedgown is doused in blood. Anders, who is in his nightgown, is also doused in blood.
Okay.
As you are now in the room, Picard.
Or
this is a
did
bit
you lag them,
backtracking.
Paul, or just take a
That was
second?
me. That was my brain
Pause.
backtracking. Picard, as you're now back in the room, the magic you saw last night wasn't the full figures. It was at the end of the bed. And as you look, you see piled at the end of the bed, near where their feet are, because they're quite short in the bed, are their clothes. And you were like now in the light. You
Rich
can
people
think
clothes.
It was the clothes that were emitting this magic.
That's why I didn't get dirty.
Scarin is clean, and you do notice that the blood that is soaked into Anders' clothes is not soaking into his. He wears a mixture of black and whites and dark greys, which would show the blood quite easily.
interesting. I'll hold on to that information. And I say, right, this is a crime scene. We need to clear the scene.
It is a crime scene, and someone has committed this bloody crime. Again! This is the third murder on my vessel. In not
Yes.
but 3 days.
It was really inconvenient. I was having an ace dream about like women and rolling hills, and I was really awakened.
I've brought Scarrick. Is there anything he can do?
Why did you wake me up?
It's been a murder. That's the best you're going to get of an answer.
I
You
can't
tried.
do anything.
At this point, you can't even get into the room. There's that many people in here, and it's bustling, and you just sort of look through, and I'd say from this point, Scary, you look and you're like, yeah, holding the
Is
brain.
there any way of going back to sleep? Roll over.
Not now you've got up. The Commodore draws his sword in the corridor. We must lock this place down. Everyone back to the
Everyone
dining.
back into the dining room.
Back into the dining room. I said it first. It was my idea.
And he waits until you see Mormac slowly come out his room and sort of dreary-eyed comes through. Scarin picks up Anders. He picks him up like a child, although Anders is quite an older man. He picks him up in his arms and begins to take him through. Anders just in tears. Galen
Yes.
comes next to you, Ozzy, and he just shakes his head. Such a waste.
As
a
these
beautiful
people,
life.
as these people are filtering out, I asked the Mr. Men to like hold back a little bit.
And
Someone
he
needs to go
turns to you.
downstairs and get Mr. Magic Mike. Bring him upstairs.
I think we need Everybody in that dining room, everybody on this
Aye.
vessel.
He turns to you, Ozzy, and he says, "This isn't you, is it? Promise me that."
I promise, it's not me.
Then one of my dear friends truly is a murderer. And we must find out who. We will not sleep until it is done. Come.
I'd really like to.
So the Commodore comes with you and back into the room. Misty has woken up and brought in, the cook's brought in. You want, forget it. Good day.
Everyone, yeah.
Might as well get everyone in.
Right.
Everyone's a suspect.
That's mates. And, yeah, that's it.
Where's the Mr. Men still in the bedroom in the cabin?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, I just peel back the cover to see damage for myself, just to...
Yeah, so you see, it is solely, the dagger's just gone straight through her right eye.
I say, Ozzy, did you notice anything about that weapon you pulled out? I didn't quite get a look at it.
Yeah. It's, I noticed some writing at the bottom. Captain Bluebeard. You know,
How odd.
we got
And what
Rick,
was that name on that dragon dagger?
Ricky One Eye, Captain Bluebeard. All sounds very
I
piratey
think
to
they're all
me.
pirate names.
Pycroft consults his list of ships and people.
Commodore Warrington is sounding a little bit more like a suspect, more and more.
Well,
You don't see it on your list.
Picard, tell
His
him what
name's
you
out on my
saw about
list. Well, that's upsetting.
Tell him what you told me about scarring last night with your
Oh
keyhole
yes.
thingy.
I had a
Lead
little
with that.
peep in the night. Nothing
Nice.
untoward, I assure you.
Yeah, right.
And I detected some magics about these people. Now, Camilla and Anders seem to have an aura about them, but I've realised it's just these clothes of theirs. I presume, they made themselves look quite tidy.
As he says that, I would like pick up the clothes and like look them over. Do I get a vibe from them?
Yeah, you're detecting what they are,
No, because I can only do that once.
or
I
you're
don't
just
want to
trying to
waste
get a
it.
vibe.
I'm just getting a just I don't know. As a
Yeah,
magic
you
user,
sort of-
I'd maybe get a feel that they're magical in some way.
You pick it up and you get a sense, and you go over to the writing desk and pick up the ink bottle. And as you tip some onto the clothes, your suspicions are confirmed. The ink seems to just disappear as it hits the clothes, and some of it does trickle down and drop onto the floor, and you see it staining the floor. But it doesn't mark the clothes at all.
Wow, these are fancy.
That is marvellous. I'll be keeping these. And he shoves them off to one side.
And they're
Like, he gets all
female.
of them, and
That's a
three
dress.
masks.
Yeah.
The dress.
Okay.
But Scarin, the butler, he's somewhat different. He appears to have some sort of illusion cast around him, and I noticed that the blood didn't transfer to him, but this seems to be a different kind of magic.
You don't say. I
Yeah,
said from
I
the
don't-
very fucking start. He's a suspect, and you all were like, "Oh, he didn't kill himself." Well, I don't know. I just get bad vibes from that guy. Bad juju.
Yeah, it does seem
But-
quite.
Can I
Odd.
just, as Packard's telling me this, can you just remind me, when he was looking at him, just for confirmation, was the aura around him as an individual, or just a book that he had on him?
Him as an individual for Scarin.
Yeah,
So
The book was Mormac.
Mormac had the book.
Oh, right, okay. Okay. And so, yeah, you've explained that to me. Did you say that about Mormac as well?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Mormoc's got a magic book, but I've heard that
sorry, what?
he is a magic user. Oh, he's got a book. It's got some general like magic-y vibes about it.
Mormac?
Yeah, the Commodore last night was telling me that he's done magic before.
Guys,
Ah,
we
I
need to
see.
keep this information, like, share it.
Well,
This
no
is the first I've
offense,
seen you.
I couldn't find you last night.
You've
I
been
don't know where you
asleep.
went. I'm assuming you went off with one of the maids.
He wishes.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. I definitely wasn't perving on these two.
What? Why would you say that?
Why didn't you see anything?
Look, when everyone left the room last night, I went invisible and tailed these two and Gellum because they walked off, the three of them together, and I thought maybe I'd get a conversation out of them, that might lead to something. And I ended up...
I'm just gonna say this.
Yes.
I like to think we're friends, but that means you was one of the last people to see her alive.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I think
suspicious.
we need to keep that information between us, just us four.
Okay.
Yes, those people through there
I
will not be happy.
I see your
Yeah,
concern,
maybe.
but if you recall, I was woken up by the screams, and I came running up, after other people. I
Yes,
didn't.
but you could have killed her in the night and then snuck away, like the
Well, no,
little
'cause
impish
she's-
devil you are.
She
You
screamed.
ascertain the scream was Anders, not her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was the
was a girlish
girlish scream.
Oh,
She was dead prior, otherwise Anders would have likely seen the assailant. So I'd have to presume she died
maybe it
while
was
he was
me.
sleeping. Oh my god. Now I
It wasn't.
can cast Speak with Dead another time.
Oh shit, you can. She might have
But then
got. She might have seen who it was, or an outline of him in the dark. Or that's good thinking.
potentially.
And if she
Let's-
says,
But
Can I
If she
inspect
says
the
that the
body
person
and see
was-
if she looks like she's, awake when she was, because there would be like a facial expression, or does she like,
I think if someone put a dagger through your eye,
Like
your
she was
face
asleep.
would move. Some.
Yeah. There's a grimace on her face.
Like she'd been daggered.
if you ask
Yeah, and a
what the
big hole
person
in
looked
her.
like, and she says that he was wearing a crown and had horns, she was really drunk.
Well, let's think about the questions before I cast it. because
Okay.
it's,
Also, we got a room
it's a
full
lot
of people
to-
in there that are gonna be getting agitated. We probably need to go through and calm the
And we're not putting
situation.
through any windows.
No.
I mean, if that's unless
Right.
that's what she wants.
No.
I'll go through there if I could find myself and get breakfast started.
There you
Oh,
are.
there I am.
I can't believe he's hungry. He's just seen that.
So,
So-
as you come into the
Fair.
room, Scarrick, you notice the atmosphere is tense. Gellin is sat at the head of the table, head in hands, and everyone else is just dotted around the room, almost individually, suspicious eyes darting all around. Scarrin is with Anders. At this point, he's sort of pulled a chair back, and they're just sat. The window open, some fresh air coming in.
Don't worry, guys. You're all in very capable hands. Cook, why don't you get some breakfast started? And just remember, I can detect poison, so no more funny business if it was you.
Packard, have you got your
I told you it wasn't.
have
Right.
you got your helm?
Something simple.
Not on me. I'll have to go get it from my
So-
room.
I speak to the Commodore and just say,
Heads to the room.
just to one side because it looks like he's on his own. And just ask him if he's familiar with the name Bluebeard or if he's got any more recollection of Ricky One Eye. Isn't been a naval man. So Commodore.
What makes you?
Well, we've had two. So it was a shark's tooth. That was the first murder weapon. with Ricky
Dragon's
One
tooth.
Eye on it. Dragon's tooth. Oh well, that goes with my nautical theme. And this was a cutlass with Bluebeard on it, and they just seem a bit piratey names. Just with your background, if you've ever heard of them.
I have. Except they're Misty's daggers. Of,
Excuse me?
the captain. He took them off the bodies of the pirates she's slain. She has several, but I've seen those ones. They were definitely hers. And
Well, that would have been useful information yesterday.
Well,
he didn't let me inspect it.
Paul, did I recognize these from her belt? Because I did ask, but I guess
No,
you didn't.
there was 3 slots missing in the belt,
Yeah.
but you haven't seen these on her person.
Okay, so these could be. Oh god, there's another dagger out there. Oh no, someone else is gonna die. Oh shit!
I thank the Commodore and hurriedly go back and relay it to Picard and Ozzy.
Okay.
Oh, well, I've got the 2 daggers actually. Well, in that case, I feel like we need to ask Misty some questions, and I head back to the dining room.
Just like I'll come through as well. It could also be part of that whole like trying to set up Galen and everyone. You know, take the captain that's under Galen's employ and use her knives.
I think
just
we
as a secondary story, just to make sure you don't lock too much onto it.
I think we need
Aye.
to sort out this magical whatever Picard was saying about Scarron.
Hmm.
If he's
Yeah,
if
let's
he's,
get to the bottom of
if
that.
he's hiding something, you guys know more about
Right.
magic than I do.
I do,
I think we
Way
need
of-
that helmet.
and I have something I can
Yeah.
use for
You
that.
don't need the. Yeah, I'm sure one of you've done something with magic before even before we got the helmet.
Oh, sorry, what about the darkness?
No, the aura of magic that's
Oh, the
surrounding
book.
that Picard. So, no,
The
Garen, that's
outline. The outline.
I
Oh, right.
Yeah, why would a person have an outline around them suggesting an illusion? What good would that do?
well, exactly. Almost like someone could turn into something that they're not, disguise themselves as someone else. You know, like
Well,
Oh.
if I'd have been able to sleep, I might have had some useful spells, but someone woke me up.
I
How rude.
have a spell
What?
that will destroy
Oh,
the magic,
Oh, wow.
and if it is someone who's disguised, they will be revealed to us.
See.
But I think if that happens, we all need to be ready to pounce on that person.
aye. I'll be ready
Yes.
behind him.
let me
Easily
just
done.
nip to my cabin and finish adorning.
Please put my pants on. I
And
say,
as you
well,
start talking, you hear footsteps in the corridor behind. A door kick open. Breakfast is served.
Oh, cool.
I'll be back, guys.
Hold that thought. I think that's something we do later. I'm going to ask Misty some questions first.
I'll
He
come
lays
with
the
you.
food on the table, platters of bread and fish, and no one goes to it.
I'm eating it.
Yeah, except you get a large plate. You help yourself to.
I'll head back into the dining room.
Okay.
Picard stays with Camilla. Well, Picard's probably going to try and speak to her,
Okay. Yeah.
so he might as well.
I'll come back in with some sausages in hand then.
Yeah, come with some sausages and some questions, because Picard's not got many to mind.
And, just going to check if she's got any poison in her as well. If you don't mind.
Good thinking.
I hope you don't go near a
And-
crotch like you did the other
And I'll start bleeding it.
What's he doing?
I'm checking for poison. Captain.
I'm presuming
It's
Cassius is
necessary.
he's draining the blood from it.
Yes, I am, unfortunately. That's how things have
What's
worked
her
out.
name again?
Camilla.
Why do
The
you make
air
the name?
inhales back into her.
Easier to make the notes.
Oh,
The one eye socket you see just begin to twitch and move, still visceral with the blood and
Packard's
going
like,
to plotting. But a good eye locks on you. What is happening?
oh my dear, you, don't worry about that.
Oh. And she looks down and sees you just draining their blood, and she's like, oh.
Yes,
Just a
unfortunately,
dream. Don't worry.
unfortunately, you have died. But fear not, you may still have some use.
Oh.
Did you see who may have stabbed you in the eye in the night?
It's also dark and cold.
Okay.
I remember pain and her hand goes to her eye again. And the window, an outline. But I can't say what or whom.
Well,
Just a
depends.
figure in the window.
Can you think of anybody who would wish you harm?
Perhaps if someone had found out about me and Gellin, perhaps they would want to hurt me. Perhaps Gellin would want to hurt me. I don't know. My dear Anders will be so lost.
He'll be fine. Did anybody know about you and Gellin? Or who knew about you and Gellin? That's how I said it.
No, no one
That's
knew.
2 questions.
No,
No, that was
nobody
one
knew.
question. There's one question. I worded it perfectly. Nobody knew. Okay, thank you. I forgot
many
how
do we
many I
have?
asked. I forgot how many I asked.
That was
I
2
think that's
questions,
the
and you've
three.
got one more after that.
No, I think I've done 3. Gosh.
What about like the whole pirate trail?
Oh,
Like, do they?
shit, yes.
So do you, Anders or Galen, of your knowledge, have any dealings with pirates or slavers of any sort?
Not my Anders. He is mainly fishing and trade, but I did the books for Gellin, and there were lots of names and places of trade he told me the king probably wouldn't agree with. And perhaps pirates were involved, but I don't know.
Right. One more. Should I ask her about Garen? Like, if she knows why he's fucking weird?
That's the question.
Oh, we can find that out surely.
Well, what else would I ask?
If you've got nothing else, I can't think of anything.
If you can have a
Wow.
dress.
No, I'm taking it from her anyway. I say, dear Lady Camilla, can you explain to me why Anders' servant Skerrin would be utilising a illusion on his person?
I believe Anders gave him the same clothes as me.
No.
They do not take dirt or harm. They are
He could be sleeping in his
very
clothes.
nice. And she dies.
Yeah, I say, oh, you bitch, you goddamn bitch. Right, out the window she goes.
I'll start picking her up, yeah. I'll start picking her up towards the window and be like, oh no, she didn't say that this time, did
No,
she?
if I had another question, I would have asked her, but ran out. Now,
Maybe we'll leave it to Anders.
she suggested that Skerrin has magic clothes. However,
Hey, it's different clothes.
It's-
I
it's-
don't
it's
see
a
why
different-
you'd have transmutation and illusion.
it's a different
Illusion
kind of
is-
magic. So
It would be a bad idea for him to have illusion because that means he's just got all the shit on him, but it's just
it's just, yeah.
tend to be not.
Whereas Whereas their
Whereas
clothes.
transmutation cleans it.
Yeah.
It changes the matter.
But
So-
we'll look more into that.
I think we just go pounce him. Cast destroy magic.
I take.
Go get your helmet.
I take their clothes, and
Okay.
I put them in my room, and then I grab my helmet, and I pop
And
back up.
what were you doing, Ozzy? Because you were making a move in the dining room.
Yeah, I would have confronted Misty and been like, Captain, can I have a word, please?
We. What?
Yes, of course.
Half house, I didn't see you there. You're so sneaky.
You got it.
In here or in my quarters?
Let's go in your quarters. Why not?
Okay.
Seems to be our unofficial
You see as she
interrogation
sort of
room.
comes in, she seems nervous.
What do you got to be nervous about? Relax. This is all fine.
I think I know why you want to talk to me.
Why might that be?
I didn't believe it at first, but when I saw... Actually, she hasn't seen it. Scratch that.
So once you've seen the dragon tooth one on the
that
table
one.
when it was on the
She
table.
hasn't seen the second one. Why do you want to talk to me?
Sorry, has he told us that he found the
Bandolier.
what do you call it? Bandolier
so.
with the three?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I did. But at this point, I'll pull out the two daggers and be
Free-
like,
Chastise Picard for not sharing information.
in fact, what I'll do is I'll pull out each of the daggers and I'll like slot them into the bandolier. Like,
Yeah.
I believe these belong to you. They seem to have been found in a couple of dead bodies.
That second one, that is what killed Carmilla.
That's correct.
Oh,
Are they yours?
I see. Yes.
Okay, so what do you ever...
However, they were taken from me around a week ago. I was bringing the vessel down here, actually, and a port or so away. I was staying on land, and my room in the tavern was ransacked while I was out, and 3 daggers were missing.
Inside check.
Okay.
Do I believe?
Yeah, I'll do it as well.
Yeah.
17.
Oh, 3.
Styles, you're just fascinated with the array of daggers that you've just seen. Like, they're really nice, to be fair, as well. Each one's slightly different. Each one seems to be a captain's heirloom. And you sort of side pay attention to the conversation. And you're like, oh, right, yeah. Whereas Ozzy, yeah, you sort of look into her and you can see from the nerves, she seems to be telling the truth.
You say this was a week ago. Was this in Saltmarsh?
No, we were just outside. It's more just a beach port. There's a small tavern, and it's about half a day's sail. We were just filling up.
Right. Where did you get these daggers from? They're rather unique.
From the pirate captains I've killed.
Right.
I snap back to like. So I've got the dragon's tooth one, and I ask her about this one. Looks like it can be poisonous. Does it have poison in it?
It is a dagger of venom, yes. However, I do not believe it's charged anymore.
What venom would be charged with it? Is it the dragon's venom, or is it
Surely
it first.
magical. In the right wielder's hands, I believe it used to excrete a poison. But
Like
I've
Like
only ever used
nightshade.
Nightshade.
dagger. I'm not sure. Perhaps. I've never used it like that.
That nightshade, Scarrick had a look at it. He seemed to recognize it. He said it was like, used by assassins. Maybe I might be
It's
making this up,
expensive.
but did he say that it was, like, expensive?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
expensive.
Who has access to that kind of money? I think
Not me. Galen Beasley pays me.
Scarin is not looking good, is he? Did I say that out loud? Shit. You didn't hear that.
What's it? Look, I didn't do this. I've
What's
been
the
in my
third one
quarters
look like?
all afternoon anyway.
Whew.
All night. Just a reminding pigeon.
What's the third one look like?
Used to be a seagull at sea, mate.
So,
Do you
so
think-
there's three missing. We found two. What's the
Yes,
third one look like?
It's another dragon's tooth, except this one is simpler. It is sharpened and a leather handle, but none of the venom aspect.
Does it have any magical properties like the other one?
No, it's just a standard dagger.
I cast message to Scarrig. Because if I remember rightly, if I know where he is, it goes around corners and stuff. And I cast message to Scarrig, you there? Can I borrow you for a second? Do you want to come to the interrogation room?
I am here.
Hey. Would you be so kind to describe this third dagger to Scarrig? And Scarrig, I reckon you could do another locate object and see if we can find that third. That might lead us to the culprit.
I do have one left.
It's just, you don't have to, it's just my thought. We've got two options
Could be a
moving.
good idea, but it's probably just going to be hidden somewhere. But
Maybe.
I don't know.
It might be on the person. Or in their room.
Or in the bum?
Or up someone's bum.
The dagger, it was carved from a dragon's tooth.
I
The
don't think I'm going to be able to.
handle was bound in a simple leather winding, and the blade was around 6 to 8 inches long.
You getting all this, Gary?
it
You
have-
getting
Okay,
it?
I'll keep my eyes out for it. I'll go and have a look around then.
Wait.
Did it have a name on it? Like the others?
It needs to be familiar to me, or
This
like
one-
a specific object. So if I just thought dagger, I'd find all the daggers.
Well, this one's a specific dragon tooth
Dragon's
dagger.
tooth.
With
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
what was the name?
With her describing it to you,
Had the initials AR on the hilt roughly carved in.
well,
Not
that's
specific.
that's for the DM to decide then. Like with her
So as long
describing
as you've
in
seen it up
detail.
close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Yeah, so with the description,
Yeah, I'd say you can locate it. You've got enough there.
it's
Right.
different enough from other daggers to make it unique enough to. Well, yeah, okay.
I've
Yeah,
cast it.
You get the ping again in a familiar place. The room on the top deck.
Oh shit.
Helen's room.
Place you found the diamond. That's the rough aura so far.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry, do you need to keep questioning her?
I think I have everything I need. What about you, Styles?
I'm just gonna
Yes,
wander
I'm
out and
happy.
just go and find it, but leave it where it is and come back.
Okay. You go upstairs and find Galen's room. there's a few questions as you walk past. Any luck? Where are you going now?
He's after the
I
toilet.
really need the toilet. Shut it.
Right.
Just sort of waddle out.
To be honest,
Little
you can
piddly.
access the top deck from this ladder at the front. If you didn't want to go past the people.
Oh. If I'd have known that, I would have done that.
Yeah. So you go that way. Anybody else who comes back in, they're like, what's happening? Any further? The investigation.
I'm gonna say out loud. Yeah, I think we know who's done it. I think case closed. And as I'm saying this, I'm like looking at Skerrin, and how does he react when I say these things?
He's quite. Make a perception check. Let's see how much you pick up on this.
I think we were both watching it.
Yeah,
12.
do it with advantage, or do one each.
You do it as well.
25.
Oh shit!
Obviously, you rapidly dart person to person, and you don't pick much up, and then you concentrate on Scarron. You see he's intent on tending to Anders, and at this point he's brought some food and a drink across, and he's sat with him, passing him some food. Styles, you can tell. You look at him and you just get the sense that he's listening. He may seem intent on caring for Anders, but he's aware of the situation around him, and he knows that you're looking at him. That makes sense. He has an awareness. Scarrick, you head up to the top deck and move towards Gellen's room, and as you open the door, which is unlocked, your your clue narrows down to the bed. As you look underneath the bed, you see this bed is made from wood with slats and a thick mattress similar to yours. And as you lift the mattress up underneath, one of the daggers is pressed between the slat and the mattress. When you'd searched the room before, you'd looked under and saw nothing underneath, except this wouldn't have been in view as it's on top of a slat. You lift the dagger and find it's exactly as described by Misty, and as you sort of take it out of place, you see the two slats next to it are also scratched. Scratches in the wood.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave the dagger there. Go back.
Okay.
Guys, can I have a moment? Huddle. And I'll just relay that to them. So,
Have you sent Misty back?
is it? You what, sorry?
Have you sent Misty back at this point into the
Yeah.
main?
I figured they had.
Yeah.
Do we think, does anyone have any sort of a trap we could set, or is it a different campaign? Do we have a spy cam? Is that the different campaign?
That was Strad.
No, I have an amulet. that
Yeah,
you
no,
can
we do
see
have
through.
Oh, you
something.
do have the beholder.
Yeah, we do.
Don't you? Yeah, sorry.
I always forget that I have
set
that.
that up? Did you set that up to watch the dagger?
Man, I could have been perfect on so many people with this. I always forget I have it. Damn it.
Can we put something?
I think you need to set it up in his room to see anyone who comes in goes,
Well, look.
and not mention
My-
this from now on.
Can't we drop? What was you saying about dropping this aura around?
Well, this is
Around him.
this is what I was about to say. We have a couple of options ahead of us. We keep questioning people. We wait it out, see if they make another move. Or I can attempt to dispel this magic that is on Scarron.
I think we set up the camera just in case, and then we do the magic destruction.
I think we do the magic. There's the two. It's either a brilliant misdirect from Gellern, or it's. We need to find if Scarron has got anything to do with it.
I'll be honest, like
Right, but either way, the other plan is also just a contingency. I think we should set that in place.
I was going to say,
just in case.
if we fire off at Scarron right away, either he is guilty and he might be doing something else, and we won't necessarily be able to pin the murders on him. But we might also be alerting our killer as to some of the things we can do. So I agree with Scarrig. We should go for the nanny cam first, just in case this goes awry, and we still have that element of subterfuge, and then we'll blow Scarring's pants
maybe
off.
do a bit of questioning as well, before we show our hand.
Yeah, I mean this book that you've I don't know if you guys are aware. I would assume that book is a spell book. I could be wrong, but being a magic user myself, I have a feeling that could be a spell book. In which case,
question Mormac.
This Mormac character, he could be a wizard of some kind or a warlock and have some.
Why don't we put the spy cam, whatever them words mean, in Gellum's room, and we just tell him that we're planning on searching everyone's cabin, and just say, look, we're going to have to search yours.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Is Gellon's room the right room to plant this thing in? Because
no, but
that's where the dagger is.
That's what I was thinking. If we tell him we're going to search it because we're looking for something, he's going to go and try and get rid of it. Probably throw it out.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Ozzy can leave now up the stairs, put the camera in without saying anything, and not talk about the dagger. We want to not let them know that we know about the dagger, so that the murderer still goes and retrieves it.
Yeah, but is it just a plant? Is there going to be a third murder? Is it just there to try and frame Gellon a bit more?
Still, it costs us nothing to do.
Yeah, whether it's a plant or not, we might also catch the killer planting more evidence.
Fair.
No, if Gellum goes to throw it away, we know it's him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, we tell him that this is a secret, and he won't. So either way, we know it's
he
not
just
him.
Doesn't need to know though.
Yeah, but that's the only way you'd get him to try and destroy the evidence. Would be to tell him we're going to look for this.
I mean, he knows we've already searched his room.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have already searched his room with his knowledge.
And dragged his trunk down.
Don't think we need to worry about Gellon.
No.
Gellon's a real fine man. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about him. He's a good man.
He's not a fine man, but he's definitely.
I
not
trust him
useless.
unconditionally.
And we also don't want to tell him just in case he alludes to anyone by accident. So
the camera might not do anything. Obviously, this is a magic user. Somehow, while Gellon was asleep, they've managed to get into his room, lift him up, remove the dagger.
Well, that dagger could have already been there.
No, yeah, it could be any time.
It could have been there It could have been there the whole time. When Scarrick was searching, he just might not have.
Yeah, but the other one could have been there as well. Scarrick said there was markings, as if all three have been stored there at some point.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
We risk putting the camera there.
Okay.
We risk putting the camera there for the dagger to be moved magically, and someone else. It's what you call your Rocky.
Well,
thing.
if you got any better ideas for the camera?
Well,
no.
So my only other suggestion would be to plan it in Mormac's or Scarron's room. They were the only other options for me. But I like this idea. There's a bit more to it than just sitting there waiting to see something.
We know the killer is been in and out of Gellen's room.
Yeah, exactly.
So
No,
they're
I agree.
likely
I
to do
agree.
it again.
This is the. All right, I'll go plant the amulet.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
Right, plant the amulet. Yeah,
Yep.
and we'll make a big thing that Scarrick can locate objects, but he's got to meditate to do it, and it can take 20 minutes. So he sits in the thing. Oh no, it won't cause him to move. Okay, no, ignore that.
So the killer wouldn't move because the killer wants us to find the object. So the killer will just be like, I'm just going to eat some fucking brioche.
Or we.
I think we're overthinking it. We plant the
camera in room,
and then
leave it.
we go
Hang on.
back to questioning.
The only thing that this is going
Yeah,
to
but we don't know
establish
if he's
is
gonna
whether it's
go for
Gellin
it.
or not. That's the only thing this is going to
No,
establish.
it could
No.
be.
I'm
tonight,
expecting
it
the
could-
killer to
murderer
go back in the
could go
room.
in and get the dagger.
No, because the killer is like, by the
Just when you
sounds
hear a
of
knock on the door.
the killer's like potentially
Shut up.
planting the evidence. Oh, they want us to find it.
Hello.
Gentlemen, is everything all right? You've been gone several minutes. and-
Hey,
Everything's fine.
we've got to talk this through. Leave us alone.
Yeah, just listen. I've been speaking with Gellin, and if this isn't resolved soon, then we're gonna have to think of another way.
Oh, what do you
What do you
suggest?
mean?
Perhaps somebody else takes over.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say that.
Anyway,
We've got to plan.
We have a plan. We're very
Shut
agreed on it. There's no
We
issues.
don't have a plan.
All right, can I just?
got-
Get the
Massive
helmet.
Can I
Get
just-
the camera up there.
I'm just gonna get
Get
this
the
out.
helmet.
Get this out. Yeah, fucking. Well, yeah, use the helmet. But it seems like there's one of two options: either Gellin is the killer, or someone's trying to frame Gellin. So, if the dagger is found in Gellin's room, the killer who's trying to frame him would want us to find that. So they're not going to go up there to try and move it. The only person who would want to try and move it would be Gellin if he's the killer. But I don't think it's Gellin. I don't think it's Gellin. But
We need
so
to
that
make
all
the
this
killer
would
want to
establish with the
move
amulet
dagger.
was whether Gellin goes up there and moves it. That's all we're going to find out. Because the killer ain't going to go up there because they're just trying to frame him.
Yeah.
What if?
Unless they're planning to murder someone else tonight.
Well,
I
that's
just
can't
think
wait
they're
that
trying
long.
to frame the captain, maybe as well.
No, I think.
I think the
She works
framing.
with-
with the note.
Yeah, they had
and
the letter,
and
didn't
the
they?
captain's.
Yeah, I think the
Captain's-
framing is aimed at Gellin, but I still think Gellin's room is the one to watch because if we start discovering a new line of evidence, the killer will put framing articles in Gellin's room.
Paul, can
if
you
we,
just remind? Sorry to interrupt. Can you
Paul,
remind me
tell
what
us who
this?
did
Can you remind me what this amulet is, so I can just Google? Because I don't think it's in D&D Beyond, is it?
yeah,
What's
it's
this Google?
beholder amulet. Or I have the beholder amulet. I thought I'd added it to your thing, didn't I?
It's not on D&D Beyond, I think.
No. Did I not add it into the description on here?
Beholder's amulet. A small.
we could put the camera up, tell the people in the room that we're going to track the poison,
Oh, hang on a minute.
and this will be the key evidence.
The amulet. Well, there's one that I've. This one that I've got here says the small red amulet is covered in bumps
Yep.
and ridges.
so.
The user can see through it as long as it stays within 10 feet of them. Is that what you had?
I think we said 30 feet. We changed it to 30.
Well, I'd say that would probably work if he was in his room because he's like below.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to stay in your room tonight.
Work.
Or just stay in your room
No,
full
because he's
stop.
two decks down, isn't he? Oh yeah, it should work. Yeah, so.
Yeah, just about. We do
I don't
30.
think the amulet's going to tell us anything.
No, I don't. Plus, I need to be staring through it all day.
Yeah.
Right, let's go just ask more about
let's
his
go
book
back to
and blow
questioning with the fucking-
Scaren's pants off.
Blow Scaren's fucking magic and get the fucking magic helmet and question.
I think I
three
think
other people.
use your helmet, Pat guy. You spent all that money on it. This is the time. This is the time to fucking use your helmet. Go in there and ask some questions. Detect the thoughts. Ask about the murders and see what pops into the head when you're asking the questions. See if any dodgy thoughts pop into people's heads.
Alrighty.
Going for some omelets. All this talk of amulets make me want
And
an
if the
omelet.
helmet gets us nowhere, I'm gonna run in and pull Scaren's pants down.
Deal.
Just for fun.
Who should I grab first?
Scarrick, can't you do that
Right.
that truth
I
thing
think
that you did to
way-
Spikeard's sister?
No, because you woke me up.
Well, why did you stay up drinking all night? You should have gone
Back
to
to
bed.
sleep in.
So the way I read the helmet is that you can detect the general thoughts of anyone you look at, and I don't think that affects them. You can just read their surface level thoughts instantly.
Hmm.
If you want to push deeper, then they have to make a
Yeah.
wisdom save, and then they can detect either way that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So we can do some group questioning and do a general scan.
No, I've got to pick.
Hit them all up.
Unfortunately, I
Did you kill
can't.
him?
Yeah,
Did
I can't scan a room for guilty thoughts.
Yeah, you got to be
I-
looking at one
I have
target
to-
at a
I have
time.
to pick one, but I can scan a room for thought. So if there is an invisible creature in there, I can detect that something is thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something cool that we saw actually.
Yeah.
Coming useful.
Will it come in useful now?
No, probably not.
Well, because when the
It's-
darkness
I mean-
happened, I did no divine sense, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that would have given
It
us
says
anyone.
just because I don't know if you know if you've read, have you read the spell, Paul?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because it says
The
like
helmet.
yeah, detect thoughts. The spell is what it uses, isn't
Oh.
it?
Yeah.
It says questions verbally directed at a target creature naturally shape the course of its thoughts, so the spell is particularly effective as part of an interrogation.
Yeah, it's like an active filter, isn't it?
Hmm.
Stick it on.
But yeah, it's
Well, yeah.
where you draw the line between surface thoughts and like deeper thoughts.
Did you do it? I'm like, well, who should we grab first for this baby? I don't have a million uses of it.
Oh, do you
Anyway.
not?
No,
I
I've
want the
got 3.
Commodore and Scaring.
I think Scaren's a must. Yeah, Commodore, probably more Mac. If you're gonna do it 3, I don't know.
Let's start with Mormac.
So as you come back into the room, you see some frustrated heads turn, and Wexley, the first mate, nose comes out a book. Can I go back to my work now? Honest.
Absolutely not. Don't be
Fine.
ridiculous.
Head back into.
Say Mormac. You're up.
Yes. Didn't we did this yesterday, didn't we, chaps?
Yep, we're doing it again.
Right. Very well.
If you hasn't
That's
noticed,
good.
there's been another murder. So.
Yes.
And if you haven't noticed, I've been in my room all night.
That's,
I noticed.
That's what the.
Well, if you've
Have you
noticed, then I can leave, surely.
Absolutely not. I say, could you just read this document here that I've written concerning?
Hands through it.
Sorry, as he walks through the door.
Why would I consent to this?
As he walks
go
through
on.
the door, I try and pickpocket the book off him.
Like a sleight of hand check.
Oh, jeez.
And see, not dirty though.
How many? 20.
Yeah, dirty 20. I believe is the same.
Your hand slips into his jacket as he comes through because the book is close to his person, and you grasp it, begin to pull it, but find it's been bound in with leather straps that require buckles to unlock. His hand goes to yours as you're sort of tugging awkwardly. What the hell do you think you're doing? Didn't touch another man's spell book. Good
Ooh.
lord.
Aha,
You've
so
blown
you
your bloody
admit,
fingers off.
you admit it's a spell book.
I never denied it was a spell book. I'm a master magician. Wizard.
Do you know any spells regarding darkness?
Yes.
Guilty!
No. That was not me. I
Okay, then you got the helmet on there.
I do not have the components.
I'm
But I
asking a
can
couple
do it.
questions first. You can
What
do
would
it.
what would be needed for a spell such as
Excellent question.
Darkness. Let me just recall. Ooh. It's a tough one. Darkness. It was
Probably be bat fur, a drop of pitch, and a piece of coal. It's,
yes, what the small fellow said, yes. That's the one.
I'm not there.
It'd probably be something along the lines of coal. Coal dust, yes.
Pitch.
I know.
Bat fur.
Coal dust, I think you just blow it. Something like that.
Hmm.
And then the magic, of course.
And then the magic happens.
So what was
We
it?
wouldn't
Sorry,
find any of these items in your room, would we?
coal dust.
No, I don't think you will, because I said I don't have them, so...
Is that
I
because you
can
used
do
them?
it, though. That's a bloody good point. Look, listen, chaps. I told you I didn't do it yesterday. Ozzy believes me. Ozzy?
Ozzy believes everyone.
Sorry, what was it? Coal dust, pitch, and what?
Bat fur.
Bat fur.
Yeah, bat fur.
I'm not in there, by the way. I'm in the main room just watching over everyone.
Can you get Ozzy, please? We had this conversation yesterday, and you should be catching the murderer, surely.
I'm afraid Mr. Ozzy is otherwise detained.
Right.
I'm just gonna pop the old helmet on and cast Detect Thoughts.
As you put it on, the instant thing you get is, oh no, it's another one of these situations. I'm gonna have to pretend I can do it. They'll think less of me if I can't. I really should practice more, and perhaps I will be able to do it one day.
God, he's a bloody goat.
Magic is just so difficult sometimes. Oh, what the hell has he got on his head? Oh, it's interesting.
Don't look at this.
I don't know if it makes him look better or worse.
Pretend I'm not wearing it.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
What is that helmet?
It's just it covers up my bald head. I'm quite embarrassed, you see. I like this
It is a shame.
this metal exposed brain look. So, did you do it? Did you do it?
I told Ozzy, and the things you're getting through his mind are, honestly, I wished I'd never come on this bloody cruise. It's been nothing but toil.
I mean, I might as well probe a little deeper.
Okay.
Probing. I put my fingers to the side of my head and I go.
Shit your pants. I've got the lobster work.
What's the DC?
Oh, it's 13.
13.
Yeah.
His hands go to his head. What the hell? And he pushes you back, and you get this jolt where he's resisted it. What the hell do you think you're doing?
Cheeky bastard. Nothing, never mind. You could go.
For me, not for you. Right, I need a bloody drink.
Off you pop. Just sign this waiver to say that you've spoken to us.
And he gets up and leaves.
Damn blast.
Galen, who are these buffoons you've hired? Please get me a drink. Oh, good God.
Right, Scarin, you're up. Get in the room.
So Mormac leaves, and you see Scarin. He seems just briefly talk to Anders and just make sure he's got everything he needs. Yes, sir, I will assist you in your investigation.
As he goes. Who's where?
So these two are in the
I'm in
room.
here.
Is everyone where they're stood on the map?
Yeah.
So,
You're in this
There
room.
was, but if you're following, then I'm wondering whether to be near Scarin. I'll look at you, and if you're like,
I'll cast a message to you and
give
be
me
like,
the eye, I'll come.
just go stand guard at that door, just in case Packard starts getting into trouble with him.
Aye.
I meant the door of the interrogation room.
Oh, the inside door.
Yeah.
How may I help, sirs?
I immediately cast Detect Thoughts.
You get nothing.
I knew he'd have something up his sleeve.
Can I look? Does he have any rings on?
You can't see anything on his hands. He wears the white gloves of the butler.
Oh yeah. Do you mind taking your gloves off, sir?
Oh, so you've come in the room now then?
I'm afraid.
Yeah, like I'm in the doorway.
I'm afraid, sir, Butler would never take his gloves off. It's
I don't care
part of
about
you.
being a butler. Come on, take them off. This is part of
Well-
the investigation.
We have
Well.
evidence that the murderer has possible scarring on his hands. If you could just take the gloves off, we can rule you out.
Yeah,
And
so
then
does
you
he
can
have
go
rings on?
on your way.
There's no rings underneath the glove.
Picard asks. So, is he taking his gloves off now?
Mm-hmm.
Picard asks Scarin to lay his hands out on like there's like a desk nearby, isn't there, so that he can study them.
Very
Hands where I
well.
can see him.
He lays them out on the desk.
Picard pulls out his sickle and he slams the tip of the blade through one of his hands, pinning him to the table.
Wow.
Make an attack roll.
Holy shit!
I knew this was going to happen. I had a feeling this was going to happen. 14. As you
It's gonna be
bring the
embarrassing.
sickle down, he rapidly just whips his hand
Oh,
back.
look, bastard!
What? You're going to cut my fingers off?
No,
What is
no, I was just going to run your hand through. Actually,
Let me leave.
nope,
That was
No.
that was
Gonna
very
just
good
stand there, push him
reflexes for a butler.
Yeah, I was pretty certain I was going to hit you there. I was quite spot on, but you
Is Picard picking up any thoughts? Well, because I'm assuming you would think of something if your hand was about to be stabbed.
Can't pick up any thoughts.
I say to Styles, I'm like, he's absolutely blank. There's something wrong here, boys. And I say to the boys to come in, boys.
Did the men assemble?
Oh god.
Pile in.
He begins to
very
back
small,
to the
really.
corner of the room. What are you doing?
I come in and I
What's
cast.
the illusion all about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you an illusion?
Illusion for what?
Your
You
body
yourself.
is an illusion.
You're not real. You're not a real boy.
And you see just calm come over his face. I see. It's my clothes, isn't it?
Hmm.
Aye, but why are they different to theirs?
Let me show you. And before your eyes, you see his clothes change into sort of a padded leather armor. I am wearing a special armor that can be disguised as normal clothes. It makes it easier for the master. I am, of course, his servant, but his mother entrusted his protection to me as well. I am also his bodyguard.
You're not
And
doing
I-
too well.
He is still alive, isn't he?
How about his
yeah.
missus isn't?
I was not entrusted to protect her.
I come through the door
Cold-blooded.
and say, "What's in his head?"
Nothing. He's
Nothing.
absolutely blank. Now explain this,
Nothing.
Mr. Scarin. Why do you have no thoughts about you?
My thoughts are my own.
What have you got that's protecting him? You got a ring?
What are you trying to ensue here, gentlemen?
Trying to ensure
Well,
that you're
you
not being totally
honest with
honest.
us.
You're masking your thoughts somehow.
You're number one suspect at this point.
On what evidence?
On the fact that I can't hear your
The
goddamn
poison
thoughts.
was near you.
Poison
It was
was
also
near you.
near you, wasn't it?
No.
Or your colleague.
You don't need to know
Yeah.
all our evidence.
Fuck you, guy.
We're
You're asking the
the
questions.
But you will need evidence if you're going to catch the killer. And it is what you're trying to do, isn't it?
And
Damn
that's what
right.
we're trying to get. We need evidence to say,
Now,
oh, guilty until proven innocent on
If
this.
you got
that's all.
nothing to hide, then let my friend Packard here into some of your thoughts.
let me enter you mentally.
Were you wearing something,
You see,
Dixie, from it?
his body grows stiff, almost like a plank of wood, his head lowered, so you can't see his face. After a moment, you hear a low laugh coming up from him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, can you ready actions?
Well done, indeed. I suppose I underestimated you. Perhaps I got a bit carried away. We should have waited till the next cruise. No matter. I'll just have to kill you all. Roll for initiative.
Packard yells, success! What?
Ozzy, when did you push through, you fuck?
Earlier. It's a bit cramped in
14.
here.
Yeah, it's going to be a ruckus.
Fuck me, this is going to be
Eight.
insane.
Who got 14?
Me, Styles.
Not bad.
Styles,
I have.
14.
Oh no,
I
I didn't.
have-
I got 18. Sorry, I forgot to.
18.
Yeah. I'm
Ozzy?
marking in.
Give me something.
8.
8. 17 for Scarrick. Packard.
10 for Packard.
Right. The order is as follows.
Fireball's gonna go down well in this small room, innit?
I have 2 fucking spell slots, that's it.
I know, I've been
I was
burning
Yeah,
mine.
I was a bit worried about blowing on my bells on investigating.
Blowing my load.
Yeah.
It's Styles, Scarrick, Scarin, Packard, Ozzy, Styles. You top of the round.
Christ.
I am just gonna. So obviously identify him as a threat. I'm gonna draw my rapier and just weave it around Ozzy and Packard and thrust it at him.
Is it going to be like Captain America in the
You don't
list?
have the range for that. You'd have
Yeah.
to move.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna move. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna move around them.
At this point, you can't,
Okay.
as such. They're occupying the space with people drawing weapons. You can't get past.
Right, can I throw a
That's-
dagger?
I'd say you can throw a dagger with disadvantage
So I rolled twice. Yes.
and take the lowest.
It's going to be a heck of a fight.
God.
18. Shit. 12.
Yeah, you throw it, but you just, as it leaves your hand, you instantly have to just throw it right, and it sticks into the wall because there's just too many bodies in front of you.
I think it pings off Packard's helmet. And not the one on his head.
Whee.
Cheeky, that.
Nice.
Uh,
At that,
that-
you
yeah, that's
anything
it.
else?
No, that I'm pretty much startled and just panic with that.
Who is next to Scarin? Sorry, I've got
Oh.
to shoot on the wrong side. You, Packard.
Yeah.
At that, you see him as quick as a flash draw a dagger. What the hell am I doing? 10. Doesn't hit, does it?
No, thank Christ.
So he draws the dagger, but again in this small space, too confined. He can't quite get to you. Scarrick, you'll go.
Can't do fucking shit. So I can only throw shit then. I can't. There's no way of me moving in, is there?
It's real crowded. You could try and back out and let people out, but
Run away.
Can I go there in the hallway
Mhm.
and hit him with a deck?
I'm gonna say he's
Or
behind.
the throwing. Oh, yeah,
He's too
behind the wall.
covered. Yeah. You could burst in and tell the others, or you could block that door, or you could ready an action.
So it'd be good if we could clear this room and bring this
We
crap
need to
into the
fucking
room.
get out of there, can't.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna fucking back out to here and just say like, it's scaring. He's attacking. Ready, arms. And I will ready a swing with my warhammer if he comes past, but that's not gonna happen before my next go.
Right, it is Scannon's go. He is going to. Oh god.
Did he get
come
2
on.
goes then?
Sal, how many moves this fella got? Million, innit? Yeah.
He gets to go every
Uh,
time, doesn't he?
Hang on. Oh god. Roll 20, don't die now. Just let me scroll down. One sec. Let me go to paper. You see him. God. Why won't you let me do it? Right. We might have to pause while I close and reopen roll 20. Sorry, gang. Bear with me.
For a wee.
Alright, yeah, we break. God damn fucking internet bastard. It was doing so well. You said it in the first thing, Ozzy.
What?
After the first murder, you were like, it was scary, didn't it? And everyone was like, no, he wouldn't kill himself.
And
I wasn't sure on that.
I had a
was-
feeling
that's
from.
why
I
was
don't know
looking at
why. I
his
just had a
neck lot.
feeling from the beginning that he somehow it was fake or I don't know. Like there's something. I don't know. It's mostly because when we met ages ago, you said I picked up some weird vibe off him, and I've not forgotten that.
Never forget. Alright, I'm back in. I'm hoping it's going to work this time. When Alex gets back. Oh, don't fucking die on me now. Oh my god, right. We're gonna have to call it and do the battle next time because my page is unresponsive and I can't get to my stuff.
Oh
Should we
shit!
just say we won?
Yeah.
Leveled up.
Like I did it heroically.
We will end the night now, mid-battle, as you fight to survive. And we will pick up next time as the battle ensues. And
Bloody
hopefully
hell.
in internet.
I'd like to think Style just made a comment of that the dwarf in the armour ran away.
Again,
Put it out there.
to be fair, it was Ozzy that ran away last time. Right, thank you very much, guys. Sorry we have had to.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers,
now,
Sorry.
but we'll come
Thank
into
you.
an epic battle and we
Yeah.
will see who wins, eh?